Hi there. Good morning. Come on in. Come on in. We're going to get started here in just a second. I want to get this shared out and let people know that we are here. And if you would do me a favor, reach down and hit that share button. Share this out with me. This is going to be a fantastic show. We're going to take a look at what it takes to make a real change in our lives today. So here we go. Got that out. So come on in. Let's get started. Hi, it is Wednesday, February the 20th, 2020, or if you look at it numerically, 02-20-2020. Hi, I am Brad Smith, and I am your host for Chainbreakers 365 Live and the creator of hashtag Uplift and Rise. I want to welcome you here today. This is going to be a fantastic day because that's the way I choose for my day to be. I don't know about you, but I make a choice every single day to be sure that we are setting ourselves up for something positive for the day. So we're looking for a positive outcome. We're looking for a positive day. We're not going to let the negatives affect us. But today we're going to get in and we're going to talk a lot about making change in our lives. We've been all week this week looking at choice. And we're going to continue in that theme today because to make a real change in our lives, we have to start making different choices. But sometimes that's not so easy as other times. So we're going to kind of take a look at why. Hey, Nat Banks, glad you're here this morning. Terry LaPierre, glad you're here. Terry got in here a little bit earlier than he frequently has been able to. So, Terry, I'm glad to have you. Leanne Rainsmith, glad to see you this morning. Laura Berman, glad you jumped in here already this morning. So we're talking about choice and being able to make different choices in our lives because that's what it takes in order to make real change in our lives. We have to make different choices. Here's the problem. Choice is not, or making different choices is not necessarily an easy thing to do. First off, 40 to 45% of the time, according to psychologists, and as was published recently in Harvard Business Review, 40 to 45% of our choices are made out of habit. What does that mean? Well, that means they're actually being made subconsciously. They're not a conscious decision. We do them so much out of habit, we don't even realize that we're doing it. Hey, Andy Strader, glad you jumped in here. Babette Lowe, glad you're here this morning. Janice Fetterspiel, glad you're here. Kim Cardwell, thanks for coming in. So habits create some real issues for us because we do things so regularly or out of routine that it becomes difficult to break those sometimes. So it is a matter, of taking those choices that we make out of habit and take them out of our subconscious and making them conscious choices. You see, conscious choices are made in obviously the conscious side of the brain. That is where rational thinking is. That is where reasoning and rationale is. But habit happens in the subconscious area of the brain. It happens out of routine. Now, there are several things that kind of come into this every day, and it affects us. It affects the way we make decisions. So first of all, when we're confronted with a situation, that's the first thing that has to happen. We're confronted with a situation, and therefore we have to make decisions. Now, before we make those decisions, we turn and evaluate all the different possibilities. And when we evaluate them, we tend rationally, when on our conscious side of the brain, to weight them out and choose to be what is the best choice for us, what is the best outcome that we're going to receive, and therefore which decision do I want to make. Then it comes to making that decision, and the last one is taking action. Actually, that's the next to last one. The last one is then once you take action, evaluating the outcome, storing that in our conscious mind so that we can use that as data to make the decision the next time. Here's the issue. If it's made so subconsciously in the subconscious part of our brain, In the conscious part of our brain, where memory is held and that rational thinking is held, we never get to evaluate based on the positive income last time because we're doing things out of habit. So we have to start developing a discipline in our activity, a discipline in our behavior, so that we start taking conscious hold of those situations and taking them out of our subconscious, putting them into our conscious brain so we can evaluate it and make different choices. Unless we take it out of our subconscious and be fully present with the situation, then we do things so subconsciously, those rational thinkings, those memory, that data we've stored doesn't change our behavior. To make the change in our behavior, we have to take those subconscious situations and put them into the conscious part of our brains. Here's the next part. Now let's say we've been able to be successful, move this decision out of the subconscious part of our brain to the conscious part of our brain. Now we have to change the way we weight those things that we use to evaluate. You see, many times we will choose what is good for us now instead of what is good for us in the long run, because we will choose to accept instant gratification. We are very much an instant gratification society. But because of that, we will choose to get the reward now instead of the reward later. There was a very recent piece that was done in social media not long ago, where people were walking around and the guy had a silver bar in one hand and a Hershey's chocolate bar in the other, and was telling people, this is your day. You get to make a choice. Either way, you win. Would you rather have this silver bar, or would you rather have this chocolate bar? Now think about it. Which one of them is honestly worth a lot more money? Which could make a bigger difference in somebody's life in a big time? I'm not talking about a little dinky silver bar. I'm talking about a huge silver bar, like the size of a brick. That is worth probably thousands of dollars. But again and again and again, people were going, wow, I like chocolate. I want the chocolate bar. Or I'm hungry. I want the chocolate bar. Or I don't know what I do with the silver bar. I'll take the chocolate bar. Really? Really? So they made the choice over what was good for them now, or what was desirable for them now, instead of what was going to be a better choice for them in the long run. They chose chocolate over this brick of silver. Would you make the same choice? Don't know that I would. Pretty sure that right now I don't have any idea what I would do with this bar of silver, but I could probably figure it out. Google is an amazing tool to help you figure out those situations. But I could buy thousands of chocolate bars for what that value of that block of silver is, right? We have to learn to start getting rid of those choices that would choose to accept what is good for us now, give us the instant gratification in what's better for us in the long run, right? I struggle with this one because at this point in my life, I'm not one that really wants to anxiously get out there and do physical activity, right? I don't really want to go and work out and really try to do something to get slim and trim and fit and muscular, right? I don't want to put the effort in. I'm going to be honest. I haven't really seen it because I'm in my comfort zone. I like this the way it is right now, and that's a lot of work and a lot of effort. And yeah, it would be good for me, but I'm choosing to do otherwise. Probably not a great choice, but it's one that I continue to look at and continue to say, no, not today. How about you? Where are you making those conscious decisions for the present choice, for the instant gratification, for your comfort, rather than looking in the long run? There's another one that I want to talk about today too. And this is where one that makes it so difficult for a lot of people. You see, there's a lot of people that have addictions, a lot of addictions. Maybe it's food, maybe it's drugs, maybe it's alcohol, maybe it's something as simple as tobacco, and you could call that a drug yeah, you could call it a drug, right? But either way, it's something that is not good for us, but because of our addiction, we choose to get that instant gratification. We choose that we weight that so heavily that to make a conscious decision is like having to tear something down and break it apart in order to be able to chase after what we know is a better decision for us. Breaking those addictions is one of the hardest things we have to do, but addictions will absolutely control your decision-making process. Sex is another one. There are people absolutely that have sex addictions, and they're so obsessed with their sex addiction, they have difficulty make decisions in other areas of their life because they will go chasing after that. So we have to take control and really think strongly about what controls our decisions. Is it habit? Is it because we want that instant gratification? Is it addiction? What is driving us to make these decisions? That is all part of that conscious decision making. But in order to make those conscious decisions, we have to start bringing those decisions out of the subconscious where habit controls our behavior and make them conscious decisions. We have to be fully present in our day, thinking about everything we do all the way around. Because making different choices, doing what's better for us in the long run, breaking those addictions, breaking out of those habits is what we must do if we want to make a real change in our lives. Because you cannot make a change in your life until you change your decisions. You see, it's simple as that. It is as basic as that. You have to start making different decisions. But once you do that, you then have to start creating new habits and developing a new discipline. We're going to get into that some tomorrow because that is a subject all to itself. But I want to thank you for being in here today. I want to thank you for being part of Chainbreakers 365 Live. We are going to break those chains that keep us small, that keep us in our old lives, that keep us from fulfilling the destiny that God has on your life. We're going to continue to break chains tomorrow. I want to thank you so much for being here. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, hit that share button and share this out. I know there's other people that need to hear this message today. But join us tomorrow for Chainbreakers 365 Live, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have trouble catching us live, you can catch us on replay. You can go to my YouTube channel, Chainbreakers 365, or you can go to my website at chainbreakers365.com. But I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. for Chainbreakers 365 Live. We'll see you then. Bye now.